Only 36% of U.S. students started off the school year on track and at grade level. So you think about the benefits of tutoring and working one-on-one with students and bringing them up to grade standards. It's so important when you're looking at those numbers. And certainly after the pandemic, we're still dealing with those low numbers because kids certainly got off track.
Welcome into the Rocc Pod. I am John Gay from Jag and Detroit Podcasts.
I'm Lisa Bibby, your real estate professional with Keller Williams Advantage.
All right, today we have Carolyn Graham from the Tutor Doctor with us. Before we get into the Tutor Doctor and your business, Carolyn, you told us offline you're into both whiskey and wine. I've met people that are into one or the other, but you are into both.
Well, I think what happens, John, as you get older, your tastes change a little bit more and you just become more exposed to different things in life. So as I've gotten older and traveled around more to different states and different countries, I've become kind of enthralled with whiskey production and have tried different cocktails and experimenting with them, and actually even received a smoking kit as a holiday gift. Yep, so that I can even smoke my own cocktails now. So that's my kind of new level of adult beverage enjoyment.
So Carolyn, if you had to pick between whiskey or wine, could you pick?
That's a really tough one because I think really kind of depends on where you're at, where you're dining, where you're traveling. So actually next month, at the end of the month, we're going to be going to Scotland for a little bit.
Ooh.
And so I know while I'm there, I'm going to be trying different whiskeys out over there and scotches. So I imagine I'll be drinking more whiskey than wine over there. So I think it really kind of depends on time and place, but I like both. And my sister and I are both really wine aficionados. And so we do a lot of wine courses together. And so that's also a love of mine. So no, I couldn't pick.
Fair enough. So there's a joke here about being in education and it driving you to drink, but I'll leave that one aside.
But we don't do it in schools, just to clarify.
Thank you for that clarification. That is obviously very important.
Just an FYI, we really don't have bottles in our drawers.
That is a myth. That is not a fact. Thank you for clarifying that. So I know Tutor Doctor is a franchise. I know you've got a background in education. Tell us how you came to be involved with Tutor Doctor.
Absolutely. So I have been involved in education for most of my career, all of my career. I was a high school teacher and a principal. So we had done quite a bit of traveling with my husband's work. Our daughter is a practicing physician in Michigan, and we wanted to be closer to her. And so when I was kind of winding down my career in education, I knew that I wasn't finished yet working. I still wanted to contribute and do something, but wanted to own my own business. So was looking for things that would complement my skill set, things that I was comfortable with and knew about and could talk about, and came across Tutor Doctor, and that seemed to be a good fit. And you're right, Tutor Doctor is a franchise. They've been in business for almost 20 years. We've got a global presence all over the world, but we're locally owned and operated. And so that's what really appealed to me. So my business, I do in person for all of Oakland, Wayne, and Macomb counties, and then can do virtual all over the state. So again, we're locally owned and operated. I'm a big part of our local communities, but we have that corporate franchise head office that really can help us. That really appealed to me. I hadn't been in business before, so that was a learning curve for me.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I was always looking at student data and report cards and hiring and that type of thing. But in terms of the business aspect, that's been a huge growth piece for me, but also exciting because as a lifelong learner, that really brought some great and exciting challenges for me too.
Well, welcome to being an entrepreneur. This is so exciting. And I love that, you know, as a franchise, they have basically systems in place that you can adopt and utilize to grow your business. So tell us a little bit more about some of the ages of the people that you help tutor.
We tutor all grades, all subjects from kindergarten through college. And we also do ACT and SAT prep as well as AP tutoring. So we have a wide range. The majority of our clients are looking, say, at, math and reading. So we do an awful lot with that. But we do also a lot of specialty things like organic chemistry or microbiology or HEPA exam testing, or we also do some aptitude tests for the Army, that type of thing. So we do have specialty things that we do. But for the majority of our young people, we're looking at building those math and reading scores that certainly haven't been stellar over the last few years.
Yeah, that's great. Any particular success stories you've had with students that come to mind?
Oh, we do. We've got, just recently, we had a tremendous success story with a little gal who was really struggling with reading. She had been kind of put behind with her reading levels in school. She was in the 5th grade, reading at a 1st grade level, pulled out, was not having confidence at school, didn't want to go to school, was matched with a tremendous tutor who had a lot of experience with reading programs. And this little girl now is reading at grade level.
Great.
Yeah, and no longer has to be pulled out to go to resource support. So, we worked with her for quite a few months, and the parents have just had nothing but glowing reports in terms of this little gal's self-confidence and her desire now to go to school and to participate actively in reading. And, reading is one of those skills that affects everything, right? It affects your mathematics. It affects all of your subjects if you can't read. So it's been a tremendous success story for us, for sure. Or even another one recently where we had a student who was really struggling with a college level statistics course and was taking the course again. And that is it's a tough course, and got this fellow in place with a tremendous tutor and has excelled in the course. So that one-to-one support that we offer absolutely makes a difference in that tutor match, making sure that we've got the right fit in front of the client.
I think that's so important because so many times classes are kind of designed around a one-size-fits-all type education system. And everybody learns a little bit differently. Some are more visual, some are more audio. So I love that you can kind of cater to each student. So if you are interested in becoming a tutor, how does one go about doing that?
That's a really great question, Lisa, because we are always looking for great tutors. And just a couple of things about our process with that is that we hire tutors who are college level educated or above. So they can be in college or finished college. But as much as I love high school students because I was a high school teacher, we don't hire high school students. It's just too close in age to clients. And so we hire college level or above. And of course, when we're looking at, say, anything above 8th grade, and middle school teachers, when they're teaching at high school, have to be a specialist. So they have to be a specialist in their subject area, usually with 2 subjects. So when we're looking to hire tutors, we want them to be specialists in their field. So whether it's mathematics or science or, history, that type of thing. And they can apply online through our website, or sometimes we're posting on Indeed, things like that, where we're looking for tutors, but we're always looking for great tutors who can commit. And our tutors are valuable to us. They're the face of our business. So we do a lot to really make sure that we're supporting tutors. We pay a great wage. We offer bonuses when they get a great review from a client. We have monthly competitions and draws. We have monthly newsletters. We sign them up for different training sessions. So they really are valuable to us. We want to make sure that we're keeping them. And the majority of our tutors have been with us for a long time. So that relationship is important. But again, if somebody wants to apply, they can apply through our website. There's a form on there where they can apply. Or again, sometimes we're posting on Indeed.
One of the things you mentioned, Carolyn, offline to us and also on the website is executive functioning. I know education is so important, but tell me just on a basic level, what executive functioning is and why it's so important.
So those executive functioning skills can get in the way of kids being successful if they don't have those down pat. So that goes into things like time management and organization. And we offer a 12-week executive functioning program that we call X Skills. And it's separate from our academic tutoring. And I would like to share with you our process too for how we
Please
go about supporting students. But just with our executive functioning, we get calls from parents who say, you know what, my kid is capable. I know they're capable. Their teacher says they're capable, but they're highly unorganized. They don't know where to start, or I can't get them to turn in homework. That's all part of executive functioning. So with our executive functioning program, again, that we call X Skills, we do an assessment with parents and with students and find out just kind of what's going on. And the majority of the time, it is a student who really academically could be quite capable, but maybe they're not doing things like those low-hanging fruit things where they're not handing in their homework, or they've got a ton of assignments due. They don't know where to begin. They are just so disorganized. So we work with them we call those tutors, they're coaches. They go into an extensive and intensive training program above and beyond academic tutoring. A lot of those tutor coaches are PhD students or PhD grads who work with these kiddos in building a skill bank. And so it's an online platform. They check in with each other 3 times a week. There are goals that are set, SMART goals that are set. The parents are involved, and it's quite an intensive 12-week program. And we've had tremendous feedback from that. So that is important. And then we see that change where those skills are transferred into everything they do in life and going forward, that they've got that organizational and time management down pat, and they can take that off with them into high school, college. We offer it for younger kiddos that are, say, 8 to 12, and then we have another program for 12 into adult. So we've had tremendous success with that.
So if you're interested in teaching another language, do you need to be fluent in that language in order to become a tutor?
That's a great question, Lisa. And you do, because, parents are paying for a service. They're looking for their child to, exceed in a certain subject. So just going back to what I said earlier about being a specialist, say in math or reading, we would expect the same with a language that's being taught. Quite often to the tutors who are teaching a language, that might also be their first language. And they, again, maybe speak, Spanish and English, but maybe Spanish was their first language. So they have to have that. Quite honestly, I've got a couple of students right now that we're working with who, just going back to Spanish, they are in Spanish-speaking homes, but the parents don't feel that their conversational Spanish is up to snuff. And so they have a tutor working with them for the oral and written component because, I think sometimes what happens, in a home where maybe a Spanish or another language is your first language, you're answering your parents back in English as opposed to the language that they want you to also learn. So parents have hired us to brush up on some of those skills. We do offer, though, English as a second language tutoring, and we have quite a few students, and in particular international students that have come to the U.S. that need English as a second language tutor. And that's a different tutor who's been trained to deliver that. Maybe it's somebody who has maybe worked in Korea or Vietnam or something teaching English. They've come back to the U.S. and they're working maybe with some of our international students who are looking to brush up on English skills.
So Carolyn, can you tell us a little bit about the process? Like if somebody does want to call and hire you as a tutor?
What sets us apart at Tutor Doctor is that we offer either in-home tutoring or virtual tutoring. It's not just online, it can be in-home, and that's up to the parents in terms of what their choice is and what they're, what's going on in their life, if their kids are busy, what their experience has been. Some people are still a little bit shy or nervous about having virtual tutoring after the pandemic because, there were some really kind of strange situations going on with, having 35 kids on a screen all together in a classroom. So parents are nervous about that. But if it is virtual, we do offer a really high level platform. But it starts out with a free consultation. So anybody who calls has a free consultation that lasts anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour. They meet with me. I hear about what's going on, what their goals are for their kids, what those challenges are, and then share what we have to offer. And then we match our clients with a perfect tutor. We want to make sure that they have the best match possible. And so that consultation is really invaluable because it lets me meet the parent and the student. We ask them both to be present. And then I can find out, what's going on and how the child feels about school or their goals and what they want to see happen. And so that allows me to match a tutor who's going to meet the personality and skill set of that child and be able to bring them along. And then we offer assessments. We do assessments on our students to find out where they are. That's all part of our service. And then we start off with regular check-ins. And after that tutor is matched, the tutor contacts the parent, sets up the time, and then we provide regular session reports for our clients. So the parents, after every session, get a detailed report about what was covered and next steps and a goal. And then, of course, we have those regular check-ins. So it's important for us to make sure that we're getting the tutor match right. And we do have a tutor match guarantee that if for some reason it wasn't the best fit, we would make sure that that is changed. And one of the things that we have found after being in business for several years is that we have repeat clients. So it could be now their siblings, or they're referring us to their cousins or their neighbors. And so that level of care is important for us, and our client care just goes above and beyond.
You talk about referrals. They're so important, especially when you consider the Royal Oak Chamber. So much of what we do in the chamber is referring business to each other. Talk to us a little bit about your experience so far as a member of the Royal Oak Chamber.
Oh, gosh. It's been a delight to be part of this chamber. I have found that it's a very, very welcoming group. There's so much to do. The morning coffee meets are I feel just so important. That's one of my highlights every month, is going to the coffee connections, meeting other businesses. I've made so many contacts in different capacities with my business, but new friendships that develop. The chamber has been extremely supportive in assisting me in my business and being part of the community. And I just feel like there's just so much outreach from them. So it's been a delight. And I've been involved with the Women in Business Network through the chamber as well. And that's also a very energetic group who offers a lot to women in business, which I appreciate, and have made some great connections there. But I feel that having a relationship with the chamber is essential if you want to be successful in your community. You want to know your community, and you want to know who you can call on and who's there for support. And sometimes it's not necessarily about making a sale. It's about just making a connection. And somebody might have a great idea where they're going to be, hey, I've tried this, or I've done this, or hey, this is a thought. And so I value that so much. So it's just been a tremendous asset for me to be part of the Royal Oak Chamber.
Well, we're so glad that you are a part of the chamber, and we absolutely love the Royal Oak Chamber and all of their members. All right, so Carolyn, now it is time for our fishbowl question of the day. John, can you pull us a totally random question?
All right, let me dig in here. Okay, this is a good one. Carolyn, what was your best birthday?
Oh, boy, let me think about that. Oh, just last year I had a really great birthday, and it was with both my children and my son-in-law. We went to a great restaurant downtown, and we had some surprise bottles of wine sent to us from friends around the world. So getting back to my wine stories. So people knew it was my birthday, I guess, and we had different bottles of wine from all around the world sent to our table. So that was really kind of special. It was a lot of fun. It just really kind of topped off the evening.
We've come full circle back to the wine. Carolyn, if one of our listeners wants to reach out to you and Tutor Doctor, what are the best ways to find you?
They can reach out to me at 248-717-0305. Or our website, which is Tutor Dr. Bloomfield, Orion, and St. Clair Shores. That's our website name. Tons of information on our website all about X Skills, ACT, and SAT prep, our tutoring services, testimonials, lots of information on there. And we also do have a live chat on there with a real person if they have some questions that they'd like to ask. But again, our phone number, 248-717-0305. And I also have a secondary number on our website. So lots of ways to reach out to us.
Thank you so much for joining us today, Carolyn. My name is Lisa Bibby, and I'm a realtor with Keller Williams Advantage. I put the real back in realtor. We want you to love where you live. Questions about buying or selling? Call today. My website is soldbylisab.com, And you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram at Sold by Lisa B.
And I am John Gay from Jag in Detroit Podcast. If you have any questions about podcasts, I'm your guy. Podcast listening is going to overtake talk radio listening in 2024. That's how big this industry has gotten. If you have any questions, you can find me online at jagindetroit.com or on social at jagindetroit. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Rocc Pod, produced for the Royal Oak, Michigan Chamber of Commerce. For more information about chamber events or how to get involved, you can visit royaloakchamber.com. Thanks, everyone.